You don't really know much about Halloween.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another unboxing video. I am your host Joel. I am one half of the Newly Deads, and if you're not familiar with who the Newly Deads are, please go to our website at thenewlydeads.com and you can find out all the stuff that we do. We are digital and physical media creators. We are artists, and we currently have a show coming up in October on the 4th at the Boone County Fairgrounds called the Witches Market, hosted by Wolf Hollow. It's the 5th annual market where we sell all of our artwork. Please come by, say hello, let us know if you watch the show or listen to the podcast version of the show that we do, Dollar Store Drive-In. You can also check out what we have available to sell. As I mentioned, we do a show called Dollar Store Drive-In that is a half-an-hour chat show where we watch a film that we find in the wild and then we talk about it. It is a very heavily edited show. It's comedy-based. And if you're unable to watch it on one of these 4 networks that I'll put up here, we also convert the show on the next day. We make it available through Spotify and other fine podcasting directories, so you can check it out there auditorily if you don't have a way or don't want to watch it physically. Visually, I guess is what is probably the more appropriate way to say that. Also on this channel, you may have noticed we have other videos available, including our Sinister Snacks and the original Dollar Store Drive-In Classics, where we're basically releasing all of the original episodes that previously aired that are not available necessarily in all their formats. So you can then watch them and just make sure. I've not really made this apparent to a lot of people, but there's been some question about it recently. There are stingers at the end of all the episodes for the most part. I don't remember if I started that from episode 1 or not, but stick around after the credits because there are things that are related to the episode or other fun little odds and ends, sometimes not so fun, that I like to put in there. And so stick around. There is more to watch at the end of the episode. So for this unboxing, we are doing the Vinegar Syndrome June subscriber releases. Now, these came out again back in June, so a lot of people have already done videos on this content, but I'm just now getting around to it. Life is a funny thing sometimes. This is not my full-time job, so you do what you can. But anyway, I subscribed to Vinegar Syndrome for my 2nd year this year, and we'll see if next year pans out. I don't know. It's always a crapshoot. But anyway, the first thing we have this year is Dirty Work from 1998. The plot of this is that a loser finds success in the revenge for hire business. This is directed by Bob Saget, who did Farce of the Penguins, which is a spoof on the, the Walk of the Penguins? Something like that. I forget. There was a documentary that was really big. I don't remember what it's called now. This stars Norm Macdonald from Billy Madison, as well as Don Rickles, who there is a running joke with a friend of mine, Dennis, where he refers to Don Rickles as being my father, because we kind of have a similar sense of humor, or did at the time. So I'm a fan regardless. But anyway, a little bit of trivia here. Chris Farley's final role, though he went uncredited, the film was released 6 months after his death. So here is the front cover with the lovely, lovely shot there. On the back, we have that. Now, Vinegar Syndrome is known for having what I call slipcover porn. So there is a lot of cardboard and things here. So here's the slipcover within the slipcover. We have the back of this. Inside, this is a 4K release. There's the original poster that was out when the film originally was released. There's information about the film. Inside, we have one of these nice little cases that unfortunately break quite often, that you've got the 4K and the Blu-ray release. So if you don't have a 4K player, you do have the option still to watch the film. Let's see here. Then we also have this nice little booklet, which unfortunately Norm is no longer with us, along with Chris Farley and Bob Saget and Don Rickles. So there's a lot of people that have passed on. And inside we have information about the film, as well as photographs, stills from the film as well. And to be honest, I don't know that I've ever actually seen this film. It didn't really appeal to me at the time when it came out for whatever reason. Time and Tide has, of course, changed things, and I'm now very excited to check this out. I've always been, a kind of a Bob Saget fan, but I think it was after I saw The Aristocrats that it really kind of hit home who he was as a comedian and a person. So anyway, and everybody loves Norm Macdonald, right? Next up, we have Jade from 1995. The plot of this is that someone does a nasty hatchet job on a San Francisco big noise, and the assistant DA takes charge of the investigation. That's a weirdly worded sentence. Thank you, Internet Movie Database. Through a web of blackmail and prostitution involving the governor, an old lover of the lawman emerges as a prime suspect, and he has to deal with his personal feelings as well as the case. This is directed by William Friedkin, who is one of my favorite directors, who is known for The Exorcist, as well as Sorcerer, which if you've never seen that film, don't watch it if you have a heart condition, and Killer Joe, which is one of his last films that he made with Matthew McConaughey, that if you've never seen it, Juno Temple is amazing in that film. Great movie. This stars David Caruso. Not a fan personally, but it is what it is. He was in First Blood. It's a great movie. It's on the shelf. And Session 9, which is a very, not even underrated anymore. It's a cult classic, but a lot of people have seen it now, so it's not really so unknown as it used to be. A little bit of trivia here. This was the final film in Joe Eszterhas's unofficial Corelli trilogy. Here, a character called David Corelli, who is played by David Caruso. The first film is Basic Instinct from 1992, where a character named John Corelli is played by Wayne Knight. The next film is Sliver from 1993, where a character named Detective Corelli is played by Jose Rey. And in both Basic Instinct and Jade, the characters are both an assistant district attorney in San Francisco. So here we have the cover. Now, I was not a huge film fan of Linda Fiorentino. I don't like David Caruso. I ended up getting Sliver as another release through Vinegar Syndrome, and I ended up enjoying it more so once I saw the volcano ending, and I did a video on that when I did the unboxing, so you may have already seen that one and heard my thoughts on it. Again, 4K release here. There's the original poster. But, I'm always willing to give things a second shot, and right now, movies from the 90s are making a resurgence, as it's been 30 years now for a lot of them, and so here we are revisiting them because they are now considered, I guess, classics. We also have a fun little booklet in here. I haven't checked this to make sure there's nothing inappropriate, so I'm just going to kind of skim through it real quick, and thanks, David. But information about the film. These are really nice. As I've said on other videos, I don't really get a chance to read them. At some point, I'm going to have to sit down and do that because there's a lot of information in there, and being kind of a film historian of sorts, that's what I kind of consider myself, because I do watch a lot of films. I study them. I write about them. I talk about them. It's a thing. It would give a lot more information that sometimes can help you appreciate films more that you maybe didn't appreciate originally. Next up is one I may be most excited about here, which is Let's Scare Jessica to Death from 1971. There we go. So this is about a recently institutionalized woman who has bizarre experiences after moving into a supposedly haunted country farmhouse and fears she may be losing her sanity once again. It's directed by John D. Hancock, who did Prancer, okay, and stars Zora Lampert, who was in The Exorcist 3, which is far better than it should have been. Ooh, that scene with the giant head trimmers. A little bit of trivia here. On the first night that the film crew arrived at the farmhouse location, an eerie fog rolled into the area. They quickly made use of this by shooting the outside of the house as this happened, and their footage was used for transitions throughout the film. Also, this is one of Stephen King's favorite horror films. So, again, we've got a lot of cardboard in use here from Vinegar Syndrome. This was a very much discussed and desired film for them to release, and when it finally was announced that it was coming out, people were very excited. And again, one of those horror movies that for some reason has slipped under my radar, and I've not actually seen it. I still haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Again, 4K release. Posters, and there's information about the film. So I am very excited to watch this as soon as I get the opportunity, but my stack of things that I am behind on, as well as streaming media, is insurmountable. So unless I retire right now, have a ton of money and a lot of extra time, I'm never going to get through it all. So It is what it is. Here we have the booklet. Again, they've released a nice little booklet. Inside we have images from the film as well as essays and whatnot. So if you are a lover of Let's Scare Jessica to Death, this is probably going to be considered kind of the quintessential release of that film, as well as Jade and Dirty Work. So finally, we have one that I remember when it came out, The Dark Half. For some reason, I did not put the date when it came out. I'll put it up on the screen here for you now. But this is about a writer's fictional, why did I say fictional? Is that a word? Alter ego who wants to take over his life at any price. This is directed by George A. Romero. Rest in peace, you magnificent man, who did all of his Of the Dead films. He also did Martin, which is on the shelf here, and Creepshow, and just a ton of other stuff. Kind of a master of the genre. This stars Timothy Hutton, who was in Beautiful Girls, which is a film that I loved from the 90s, and I have a DVD copy of it on the shelf. Haven't seen it since then, though, so I'm not sure how it holds up. A little bit of trivia here. According to Stephen King, the story of this film was part autobiographical, as it was inspired by the events that led him to revealing his own writing pseudonym of Richard Bachman. It was the last novel that Stephen King wrote before becoming completely sober. His addiction and his desire to get sober are reflected in the book's themes and dual personalities. So here we have, again, a lot of cardboard. There's the back of that. Inside, once again, we have more cardboard, which don't get me wrong, I like the slipcovers. I'm not dissing on them at all, but it is kind of insane sometimes how much they have for Vinegar Syndrome. Again, 4K release. There's the same covered there as well. Inside, or on the back, we've got information about the film. Inside, once again, we've got the Blu-ray and DVD for those of you who may have only one or the other, or both. Some people do have both, especially with gaming systems these days. It's more likely you probably have both. There we have the booklet, Mr. Hutton there on the front in one of his roles. Nice little lime green on the back, kind of like my shirt. And then inside, we've got images from the film, information, etc. Kind of what we've been going through for this whole thing. So if you're a fan of this film, again, along with the other three, very much kind of the quintessential release of the film. So that is it. That is all for the June subscriber box from Vinegar Syndrome. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out to us at contact@thenewlydeads.com, and we'd be happy to talk to you there or on our Facebook channel, which is updated daily. I am on there all the time. It is part of my job not to update my page, but I work in the field. So anyway, that is it. So remember that tomorrow is not guaranteed, so don't forget to unbox your heart. We'll see you next time.
Should be done, you see, between the real and the unreal. The dead might be looking in. Halloween, the festival of Samhain. Happy Halloween.